श्री जगन्नाथ बलभद्र सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, श्री रंगनाथ महाराज की जय, समस्त भक्तवृंद की जय। भगवान श्री महाप्रभु चैतन्य देव तथा उनके समस्त भक्तगण की जय। भगवान श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय, गंगा मैया की जय, जमुना मैया की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, शिला गुरुदेव जी महाराज की जय, समस्त भक्तवृंद की जय। First of all, I would like to offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of Bhagwan Shri Jagannath Balbhadra Subhadra Maharani, Bhagwan Shri Shri Radha Madhav, Bhagwan Shri Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhagwan Shri Nityananda Prabhu, तथा उनके समस्त पार्षदगण। Then unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Swami Ishvara Prabhupada Ji Maharaj, then Gurudev Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, then all the assembled devotees. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Nanda Prabhuji for graciously providing this opportunity to have association with you all in this program and also to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam within my tiny capacity. So, as we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam third canto, my Guru Maharaj used to say that every word in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita are Mahamantas. You can meditate upon any one of the words and you can get full realization of the word. So this is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, because these transcendental literatures are not different than the Lord Himself. He Himself has spoken these. So His body is paraphernalia, He Himself, they are not different from each other. So we are going to see little bit into the third canto, which is related to a very, very important instructions for those people who are basically adopting the Grihastha Jivan. So for people who are not going directly into the celibacy of Brahmacharya Ashram and performing continuous devotional service under the lotus feet of the Lord, and have some desires for material gain also, so they can take Grihasthasana, married life, and from there they can move on to their ultimate goal of life, which is the Krishna consciousness, realization of the self and a realization of the Paramatman or Parabrahman. So this is the story in the third canto of a great personalities, two great personalities, Kardamuni and his chaste wife Devabhuti. These two are described as yogis. Both are yogis. Both have performed tremendous austerities to fulfill each other's desires. So there are so many instructions which a Grihastha can receive from the story of, from the pastimes of Kardam Rishi and Devabhuti. Kardam Muni is a direct son, Manas son of Brahmaji. And Devabhuti, she is a princess, daughter of Maharaj Srirangam, who is the king of this whole planetary system. So you can imagine the opulence of that Rajkumari, of that princess. Even then, being from such a highly elevated, opulent family, when she was married to a rishi, and rishi, the Kardamuni, he was basically engaged in the devotional service, and he had performed thousands and thousands of years of tapasya, and even after the marriage, he was still engaged in the similar type of austerities. So instructions are given that what are the activities or principles or the attitudes of a wife when she is engaged in the family life. So Srila Prabhupada has given a lot of very important purports related to this, and you all have gone through in the previous verses that how Devabhuti was 100% devoted unto the service of her husband. So being a chaste wife, the chastity of a lady basically is a divine quality, and she can achieve the perfection of life, achieving the prema bhakti just by serving one pointed devotion to her husband. And that's what she did. And when she did that, after a long time, she even forgot that she is married and she has to engage into the family life. She, one pointed view, served her husband according to his desires. After many, many years, Kardamuni even didn't notice that he is married and his wife is living with him. Such was the condition of these two yogis. So Kardamuni was performing his austerities, his tapasya, and Devabhuti similarly was engaged in the tapasya or austerities or in the devotion of her own husband. So they both were engaged in the same way. The result was very astonishing, as you can see after some time. And if you go back, then you know that Kardamuni was a very obedient son of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma basically wanted to propagate the human race, human progeny on this planet. So when he produced the Manas Putras, the sons, the Charakumaras first, then they refused to engage in the Brahmacharya life. They wanted to continue their devotional service. After that, Narad Muni also refused. Then Lord Shiva in form of Rudra came, but his process of propagation of progeny was very devastating. So Lord Brahma said that that's fine, now you can stop here, you go do your austerities right now, tapasya. When I will need you, I will invoke you or I will call you. Then after that, the Manu Maharaj was defeated or produced through his Manas form. And then Mata Sadrupa along with him. And these two are our forefathers after Brahma, from which this whole human race has been propagated. And you can see Prabhupada has mentioned earlier and in this Bhagavatam, the life of Manu is a very extensive actually. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. There are 14 Manvantars, and each Manvantar is ruled by one Manu. And the duration of one Manvantar is very, very long. Actually, 71 Chaturyugas are there. And one Chaturyuga is like 320,000 of years times 71. This is the duration of one Manu. And during this entire time, Swayambhu Manu or other Manus who come in the successive progression of this universal existence, they are totally or all the time engaged in Krishna consciousness. So the instruction is that we can see what we are doing. We have a very tiny life, and in that tiny life, what we are doing, how much we are doing the devotional service, and how much we are realizing the ultimate goal of our life. Probably not, or probably very minuscule way. It is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada who gave us the process to be engaged 24 hours in the devotional service. Without him, we could have not really understood the purpose of our life. At least I can say myself that I would have not been able to understand who I am, what I should be doing. I'm a materialistic person, of course, totally materialistic person. And still I'm there. I'm still engaged in my material jobs and everything. But Srila Prabhupada gave us the way. Our Guru Maharaj showed a path of life. He told us that whatsoever the duties you are doing, do it for Krishna, and that will become your service to Krishna, and that will become your tapasya, that will become your bhajan, that will become your japa. But you have to do it for Krishna. If you are doing it for your material gain, then that will reap you the material benefits, and that will keep you entangled in this material nature forever. But if you want to get out from here, then you do for Krishna, and then render all your fruitive activities to Krishna, then you are free from the material bondage, and ultimately you will achieve the prema bhakti, Krishna prema, and ultimately you may go to the supreme abode where you can eternally serve to the Krishna. So Manu Maharaj has been doing this, and all these rishis which has been produced by Brahma, they have been asked to propagate the progeny human race on this planet. One of those is Gautam Rishi. So Gautam Rishi basically was very, very obedient to his father, and he accepted whatsoever the instructions he was giving to him. So he wanted to get married, but before the marriage, these are basically instructions for us. What are important things or qualities or requirements one should follow First of all, we have to understand the goal of our life. Once we understand the goal of our life, that should be in the center. That we have to always keep in our mind, that ultimately we have to do the Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema, we have to achieve in our life. In between, if some duties has been given to us, then we are going to perform duty. We are going to perform accordingly with love and devotion. But we have to keep the ultimate goal always in our mind. So Kardam Rishi wanted to marry with a girl who was of his own qualities. Means she is also going to be engaged in Krishna consciousness. She is also going to become a devotee of Krishna, Shri Krishna, and she is going to engage herself in Krishna consciousness. So basically, those days, in ancient times, maybe 50 years before, these kind of rituals, they were happening in our society too. The parents, they used to find out the proper bride, and the groom side also, they used to search proper bride for their son. Their qualities needs to match, their gotra needs to match, and so many other things they have to put together. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that horoscope needs to be matched so that all the progeny which are going to be produced from the married couples, they are going to be pious, they are going to be noble, and they are going to lead into Krishna consciousness. So Kardam Muni, of course, he performed 10,000 years of the austerities. And in his mind, one thing was also there. Apart from achieving the Krishna Bhakti, he wanted to get a girl to obey the instructions of his father, Brahma, to propagate the progeny. But the girl needs to be of his own choice. The choice is to match his desires. The desire is to be Krishna consciousness. So Lord Shri Krishna understood the desire of Kardam Muni, and he gave the, actually he comes directly to Kardam Muni. See, this is the result of Prema Bhakti. When we completely engage into the devotional service with love and affection and with total surrenderance unto the lotus feet of the Lord, then Lord is not gone anywhere. He is present in each and every particles of this material existence, and he manifests in front of his devotees directly. And that's what has happened. Lord appeared in front of Kardam Muni, and Kardam Muni has offered wonderful prayers unto the lotus feet of the Lord. And Lord was so happy with Kardam Rishi's devotion. He told him that he should not worry. He knows his desires, and he has found a girl who is very, very much suitable to his own nature. And that is the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, and Manu is going to come day after tomorrow, and he is going to give his daughter Devabhuti to you. So please accept her, and she is going to serve you the way you want. So these are some of the things which has happened in the past. Devabhuti gets married with Kardam Muni. They lived together for many, many years. Kardam Rishi is engaged in his austerities all the time. At the same time, Devabhuti is also serving Kardam Rishi without any hesitation, without any lusty desires, without any material hankering. She is just engaged in his service. Due to that, her body has become very thin. Her luster of body, being a princess and now being a yogini, was faded. Her hair has been curled, entangled, dirty. I mean, so she was just living like a living being. Only the prana was there. Rest of the body was actually non-existing. That was the tapasya she did. So one day when Gautam Rishi sees her wife, then he becomes very morose. Actually, he thinks that what he has done to his wife. She is a daughter of a king, Swayambhu Manu, who is the king of this entire planet, and what I have done to her. So he becomes very unhappy. Then, and he knows his power too. He knows that he has achieved the mercy of the Lord, and he can request to the Lord for any material benefit he desires to. So he thinks that he should fulfill the desires of his wife. So he creates, when he expresses the desire, Devahuti also expresses her desire to his beloved husband, that my dear husband, I want to have some progeny of my own. I want my children, because having a child in woman's life is the perfection of her life. So I want to be a perfect, chaste lady. So Gautam Rishi thinks that that's fine. Your desire will be fulfilled. But Devahuti thinks that the atmosphere which we are living in is not suitable for a family life. This is like a hermitage. And in this ashram, how one can start a family life? This is not possible. Gautam Rishi understands the inner thoughts of his chaste lady Devahuti, and then he produces a very wonderful airplane, the description of which is given in this Bhagavatam chapter, which is uncomparable of this material thing, anything which you can think even. So when that airplane was built by his yogic power, then Devahuti sees that and she realizes that, well, such a wonderful palace has been created, but look at her and she thinks that I'm not qualified to enter even inside this palace, because I have so dirty clothes, my body is so dirty, I look so ugly, how I can go inside there? So Gautam Rishi again understands her thoughts and he instructs her to go and take a bath in river Saraswati, which was surrounding the Bindu Sagar, which was created by the tears of Lord Shri Krishna at that time. So when Devahuti enters into that sacred Saraswati, that's where this description begins, today's description. So we are going to discuss few verses from verse text 25. Canto 3rd, chapter 23, and verse is going to start from 23. Angam chamalapankena sanchannam shabalastanam avivesha saraswatya sarashiv jarashayam. Angam chamalapankena sanchannam shabalasnanam avivesha saraswatya sarashiv jarashayam. Angam chamalapankena sanchannam shabalastanam avivesha saraswatya sarashiv jarashayam. Angam, body, cha and mal pankena, with dirt. Sanchannam, covered. Shabala, discolored. Snanam, stanam, breast. Avivesha,
she entered Saraswatya of the river Saraswati, Sara the lake, Shiva sacred Jal waters, Ashayam containing. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Her body was coated with a thick layer of dirt, and her breasts were discolored. She dove, however, into the lake, which contained the sacred waters of the Saraswati. So these, some of the verses have no purport by Srila Prabhupada because the meaning is pretty straightforward, it's clear. So Prabhupada is saying here that after Kardamani asked Devabhuti, don't worry about your look at this moment, whatsoever you are, just enter inside the Saraswati river and then you will find yourself in a different form. So she hesitatingly enters into the river. So what happens when she is entering there? Santa Sarasi Veshmastha Shatani Dasakanyaka Sarva Kishor Vayaso Dadarshod Palagandaya. Sa, she, Anta, inside, Sarasi, inside the lake, Veshma is Tha, situated in a house, Shastani Dasa, 10,000 Kanyaka girls, Sarva, all, Kishora Vayasha, in the prime of youth, Dadarsha, Sisa, Utpala, like lotuses, Gandhaya, fragrant. In the house inside the lake, she saw 1,000 girls, all in the prime of youth and fragrant like lotuses. So this is the beauty of the yogic system here. Kardam Rishi, being a great yogi and a transcendentalist devotee of the Lord, he created such a wonderful atmosphere at that time. This could be just an artificial thing, but it is the yogic truth. And in that, within that river Saraswati, he produced thousands and thousands of damsels. And all those damsels, they were nicely decorated, they were all youth, and their bodily fragrance was coming out just like a lotus flower. See the difference in our bodily fragrance and the yogic bodily fragrance, or the damsels, they have a natural fragrance coming out from their body. And we put artificial fragrance on our body to hide the smell, the bad smell which is always coming out from our bodies. And still we are so proud of ourselves. We are nothing actually, insignificant in comparison to the demigods and these different descriptions which have been given here. Still we think that we are the greatest on this planet. Sometimes we ignore the demigods. We should never do that. They are worshipable to us because they are much, much advanced in devotional service than we are. Further, in text 27, the Maitreya Rishi is describing Tam drashtva sahasotthaya prochu pranjalaya striya vayam karma karistubhyam shadhina karvam kima. Tam, her, drishtva, seeing, sahasha, suddenly, utthaya, rising, proku, they said, pranjalya, with folded hands, striya, the damsels, vayam, we, karma, kari, maidservant, tubhyam, for you, sadhi, please tell, na, us, karvan, we can do, kim, what? Translation. Seeing her, the damsels suddenly rose with respect and said with folded hands, "We are your maid servants. Tell us what we can do for you." There is a little purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. He is saying, while Devahuti was thinking of what to do in that great palace, in her dirty clothes, there were at once, by the yogic powers of Karna Muni, 1,000 maid servants prepared to serve her. They appeared before Devahuti within the water and presented themselves as her maid servants, simply awaiting her orders. Text 28. Snanen tam maharena snayitva manasvinim dukule nirmale nutne dadurasya namanadaha. Snanena, with bathing oils, tam har, maha arhena, very costly, snapayitva, after bathing, Manaswinim, the virtuous wife, Dukule, in fine cloth, Nirmale, spotless, Nutane, new, Dadu, they gave Asyai to her, Cha, and Man Daha, the respectful girls. Translation. The girls, being very respectful to Devahuti, brought her forth, and after bathing her with valuable oils and ointments, they gave her fine, new, spotless cloth to cover her body. So here the decoration of Devahuti, the way these damsels are doing, is signifying that like Devahuti is going to meet first time to her husband. So in our present time, our Vedic marriage ceremonies, you can see, or you all know, that how the bride and grooms, they are being decorated for even weeks and weeks before their marriage with all kind of ointments and fragrances as it has been discussed here. Before the marriage, they are both of them, groom and bride, especially the bride is mostly much more decorated. So it appears that Devahuti has never physically met yet with Gardha Muni. She is going to meet him first time, and that's why these damsels are decorating her just like a bride who is going to meet her husband or groom first time. So she has been decorated nicely with clothes, ornaments, and other things which they are further describing. Text 29 says, Bhushanani paradhyani variyanshidhumanti cha annam sarvagunopetam panam chaivamrita samam. Bhushanani, ornament, paradhyani, most valuable, variyanshi, very excellent, Yumanti, splendid, cha, and annam, food, sarvaguna, all good qualities, upetam, containing, panam, beverages, cha, and eva, also, amrita, sweet, asavam, intoxicating. They then decorated her with very excellent and valuable jewels, which shone brightly. Next day, offered her food containing all good qualities and a sweet, inebriating drink called asavam. Prabhupada clarifies here what is asavam. Asavam is an Ayurvedic medical preparation. It is not a liquor. It is especially made from drugs, and it means to improve metabolism for the healthy condition of the body. Since Devahuti has not been eating a proper diet since many years, and her body was very thin, her appetite was lost. So in order to bring her in the original form as she was in the beginning of the marriage, Kardam Rishi arranged through the damsels a special kind of Ayurvedic preparation, aswan. And when she drank that liquid, then she became very lustrous, very beautiful, and her bodily effulgence, they came out. Text 30th explains, Athadarshe samatmanam istridvam virajambaram virajam kritasvanasyanam kanya virvahumanitam. Ath, then, Adarshe, in a mirror, swam atmanam, her own reflection, strit vinam, adorned with a garland, virja, unsullied, ambaram, robes, virjam, freed from all bodily dirt, prit, swasti, avayanam, decorated with auspicious marks, kanyabhi, by the maids, bahumanitam, very respectfully served. Translation. Then in a mirror, she beheld her own reflection. Her body was completely freed from all dirt, and she was adorned with a garland, dressed in unsullied robes and decorated with auspicious marks of tilak. She was served very respectfully by the maids. So now she has been nicely decorated and prepared for the meeting of her husband. Next step, I think we can discuss one more and then we can start. Snatam Ritashira Snanam Sarva Bhushitam Niskagrivam Valainam Pujat Kanchanumuram. Snatam, bathed, Kritashira, including the head, Snanam, bathing, Sarva all over, Avaranam, with ornaments, Bhushitam, decorated, Nishka, a gold necklace with a locket, Grivam on the neck, Valainam, with bangles, Pujat, tinkling, Kanchana, made of gold, Nupuram, ankle bells. Her entire body, including her head, was completely bathed, and she was decorated all over with ornaments. She wore a special necklace with a locket. There were bangles on her wrists and tinkling ankles of gold about her ankles. Srila Prabhupada has given a very important purport here about the bathing of women. When woman gets complete bathing and when she gets half bathing or incomplete bathing, there is a very strong scientific basis behind this. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning some of them. In purport, Srila Prabhupada says, the word Krit Sira Snanam appears here. According to the Smrit Shastras, directions for daily duties, ladies are allowed to bathe daily up to the neck. The hair on the head does not necessarily have to be washed daily because the mass of wet hair may cause a cold. For ladies, therefore, taking a bath up to the neck is ordinarily prescribed, and they take a full bath only on certain occasions. On this occasion, Devahuti took a full bath and washed her hair very nicely. When a lady takes an ordinary bath, it is called Mal Isnan, and when she takes a full bath, including the head, it is called the Shirasnana. At this time, she needs sufficient oil to smear on her head. That is the direction of the commentators of Smriti Shastra. Srila Prabhupada is clarifying here the two types of bathings which ladies they take. One is Mal Isnan. That is the Isnan which ladies can take below the head. They don't have to wet their hairs. One of the scientific reasons is that since their hairs are very long, they are grouped, so if they wet the hairs, drying will take some time, and also if it is unfavorable weather conditions, then they may catch cold. So it is not good for their health. So Shastras, they have prohibited them to take hair bath all the time. On occasions, they can take the full bath. So when they take the bath below the head, then it is called as Mal Ishnana. Some people say Kukut Ishnana. Kukut means the bird, which she goes in the water, she just flips some little water on the body and she is out. So sometimes ladies can do that. But most of the times, other times they have to clean their head. And now here Prabhupada is saying, when she is going to take the Srirangam, then she should put nice oil. She should put the oil in her hairs. That will give some soothing to the mind. And then she can take the bath, complete bath, dry the hairs, and then she can perform the rest of her daily duties. So I think it's a very instructive. This entire narration which Maitreya Rishi is giving to Vidur Maharaj, although you may think that why Maitreya Rishi has put this chapter here, which is dealing with the married life of a person. But the instructions are given here that married person, at least especially in Kali Yuga, where Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Deva has instructed that taking sannyas is not a very desirable activity, a desirable thing in Kali Yuga. One can remain in household duties and still can perform the devotional service and can achieve the ultimate goal of life. Those days were different. People had a very long life. Kardama Rishi performed austerities 10,000 years. He could do that because during that time there was not really the age limit. They used to live hundreds and thousands of years. Valmiki Rishi performed 60,000 of years of austerity. Then he was enlightened. We have not even the 60 years of life. So we have very limited life. We cannot do those kind of austerities. So for Kali Yuga, Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Deva has given us the very important and the shortest austeric formula, which is just Sankirtan, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is our tapasya, this is our austerity. This we can do without any problems. And we can do unconditionally in any situation, in any place, in any circumstance. Prabhu has not put any foundation for these things. So, in order to liberate ourselves from this material existence and to achieve the prema bhakti, our devotional service unto the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, we can engage ourselves in Sankirtan movement, like the devotees we are sitting here. Just discuss the pastimes of Lord Krishna, talk about him, chant his holy name, serve his deities, follow the instructions of Guru Maharaj. That is sufficient in this age to achieve the perfection in life, to achieve the Prema Bhakti, to get the liberation from here and go to Paramdham, where there is no miseries, there is no death, there is no birth, and there is no any calamities which we are facing in this material world. So we are very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has propagated the message of Lord Chaitanya throughout the world, and he gave us this priceless gift which we should take it to our heart, and we should be indebted forever to Srila Prabhupada, that he was so merciful, he took so much pain and sufferings on his own for ourselves. So we should be grateful to him, we should follow his instructions. He has translated all the important Vedic literatures, has given to us. We should read these Vedic literatures word by word, try to adopt Srimad Bhagavatam not just by reading. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is not for reading, not for preaching, not for narration. It is for adopting to our own life. We have to become Bhagavatam ourselves. If we are not becoming Bhagavatam, if we are not following the instructions of Bhagavatam, and if we are not applying it into our own life, then reading and preaching of Bhagavatam is not going to produce any result, neither to the listener nor to the speaker. So if we are true devotees of Lord Shri Krishna, we should understand, we should think that as soon as we open the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, we are directly associating with Lord Krishna. There is no difference in Krishna and Bhagavatam. So we should very lovingly recite each and every verse of the Bhagavatam and then try to understand, try to read the word meanings which Prabhupada has kindly transliterated for us. In any language we can read Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita these days. And then he kindly has given us the translation, and most important thing which has given his purport. He has poured his all knowledge and his heart into the purports. It is so scientific, so scientific. I mean, you can read, I have read purports of other Swamis and saintly people too. They are great, they are wonderful. But the way Prabhupada has put, it is a science. Each and every shloka, he has given a scientific basis of that shloka. Unfortunately, I am also a scientist. So we do research in the laboratory. We teach students in a very scientific manner because that's how we have been trained. So whenever there is a research topic, we develop the hypothesis first. Based on hypothesis, we design the experiments. We perform the experiment. Then we conclude whatever we get. Exactly the same way Prabhupada has given the purport of each verse here. He will give you the meaning first. That is the hypothesis. To understand briefly or superficially what has been said in each verse. Then he will take you into the experimental part. That is the Vijnana. It's not only Jnana which has been given here. He has given us the Vijnana in the purports. Special knowledge which you cannot get anywhere else. I get bewildered when I read the Bhagavatam. My Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Vishnu Goswami, has instructed me to translate Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam into Hindi poetry in language of Awadhi, in which Ramcharitmanas has been written. So I have been following his instructions, trying to do some minuscule service. So I have to read Srila Prabhupada's purport very carefully. So I really understand, I know what Prabhupada has done for us. He has done a tremendous job. We should respect this literature. My Guru Maharaj has told me many times, that in your life you need only two things to get the perfection. Srimad Bhagavatam and the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. That's all he told me. Two things. Prabhupada's lotus feet, take the shelter of him and take the shelter of Bhagavatam. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. So I'm trying to follow that. I don't know how much I will succeed, but Gurudev and Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada is with us. So we should not be worried. We should not fear for anything. We should take it granted that Prabhupada is with us. We should not worry. Material nature cannot touch us. It can deviate for momentarily because of our prarabdha. We may get deviated here and there, but ultimately we are going to go there, go to Supreme Personality Godhead. So we should have the faith, we should have surrenderance, we should have love of Srila Prabhupada, and He is there, He is going to take us. No doubt about it. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai, Bhagavan Shri Jagannath Bhagavad Subhadra Mahani ki jai, Samast Sant Bhagavan ki jai.
So I try to finish in on time. If there is any, although the chapter was such, there is not very much to talk about, but if there is any question or clarifications or comments, then please.
So Prabhuji is basically, if we really think about it, so the nature, the material nature has created these two entities in a very different way. The ladies are by nature very delicate, very prone for different kind of diseases. So the protection of them is much more needed than the men are more stronger. They can tolerate different calamities. Like all the rishis, they can go thousands and thousands of years of austerities, but ladies cannot go, and it is not prescribed for them either. So men can take the full bath all the time. They are not supposed to take the half bath. But I have heard from the acharyas in Vrindavan, they mentioned that of course 3 times we should take the bath. Morning, before the Sandhya, every time. But some acharyas mentioned that any time when we go to bathroom, then we should take the bath. So suppose we are going 5 times to bathroom, it is not possible to take the 5 times bath. Then they have suggested at least we should take the half bath. That's the time it is recommended for the men also to take the half bath. They do not need to wet the head, but at least the half bath needs to be taken. So that's the recommendation for the men when we go frequently to the bath. Because purity, the shuchi, is very important in our devotional service. We need to be pure in order to perform our duties. Anything else? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad